Okay, children, so today we were done with learning about fish. Now we have to move towards amphibians. Okay. Okay, so amphibians are, you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So amphibians, they are the cold-blooded vertebrates and they have four limbs. They have no scales on their body, and the name amphibians means that double life, right? Double life means that these organisms they spend most of the life in water and a part of it on land as well, right? And we have several animals that are included in amphibians. Those are called as frogs, newts and toads, and they all spend their life on land where it is like a little bit moist area, and then they return to water to lay eggs. And if we talk about the toad skin, so the skin of toad is drier than a frog skin, and that is because the toads have also these that toads have glands that release an unpleasant tasting chemical to put off their predators, and those glands are called as parotoid glands. So they produce some sort of secretions that are toxic for their predators, right? That is, you can say that comes under the category of their defense system, right? After that, if we discuss about newts, so they are different from frogs and toads because they have tails, right? And all three groups they are called as carnivores because they eat other animals, right? Now there is a web of skin between toes that provides a large surface area to push against the water, and while the animal is swimming. For example, here you can see this is a frog's hair. Now, in frogs and toads, the hind feet, right? This one that I have just underlined it, right? This hind feet has a web of skin between toes. So I believe that you can see that's a web of skin between that toes. Now that is very crucial because it provides a large surface area to push against the water while this frog is swimming, right? If we talk about the newts, so they swim by wriggling fish-like movement and their movement of their bodies and make less use of and they make less use of their limbs for swimming. And amphibian skin is moist, and they have a very good supply of capillaries, and that can exchange these capillaries can actually exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide with the air and water. And if we talk about the lungs of amphibians, so this is how the lungs look like, and they can be inflated by swallowing action, and the lungs of amphibian, like the respiratory system, doesn't have a diaphragm or ribs in case of amphibians. Now, the frogs and toads, how do they reproduce? So this comes under the section of reproduction, that the toads and frog their male and female they pair up, right? And they go towards an area that has water, right? And the female lays eggs over there, and the male immediately releases sperm over them. And after that you can say that there is a need for a physical contact of frogs in case of frogs, but the fertilization is external because after the eggs have been laid, after that sperm is released over them. So that is how they reproduce, right? So is this amphibian clear to all of you?
Ma'am, could you scroll up to the top of amphibians? I had to write one thing.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
You, Bimsami, are you writing it?
Yes, ma'am, I tried to write, but
Don't worry,
sometimes.
I'll send. Just give me, just wait for the weekend. I'll send you these files, the PDF of these files.
Okay, ma'am.
Just focus on right now on these concepts. I'll send you these files. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so
Fine.
this is how the structure looks like of an amphibian. They have nostrils. This is their mouth. They have a moist skin over them, and these are their hind limbs, and they have a webbed feet like this. Okay, now we have to move towards the reptiles. Now, reptiles are called as the land living vertebrates, and their skins are dry, and their outer layer of epidermis they forms a pattern of scales. So you can, I don't know if I mean you have uh, seen these reptiles in real, so they have a they have a good scaly body, right? So they have dry scaly skin, and that helps to reduce water loss, right? That scales help them to reduce the water loss, and they their eggs are tough and of rubbery shell, and of most species, these are tough and rubbery shells, and they do not need water to breathe. And these reptiles are cold-blooded, and but still they try to regulate their body temperature. That is how they lie in the sun until their bodies warm up, and we use a specific words that they bask in sun, right? That is when these lizards they stay for a while in the sun to get their bodies warm, and after their bodies have warmed up, so they that will help them in such a way that they can move rapidly and chase insects and other prey. Also, that reptiles are snakes, turtles, tortoise, crocodiles. All these animals come under the category of reptiles. And reptiles also have four limbs. And yes, and in case of snakes, uh, we know that most snakes do not have limbs. But there are some species of snakes, they still have some traces of limbs and girdles, and their reproduction is based that male and female they mate properly, and the sperms are passed from the male body to the female's body, and their eggs they are fertilized internally before being laid. So eggs are fertilized in the female body, and there are some species where female keeps the egg in the body until they are ready to hatch, right? So is that this reptile is clear? There's not much about it. They just have dry, scaly skin, and they have the paired five toe limbs. You can see that there are four limbs, and every limb has a set of five toes. Is that clear?
And could you repeat the part about their eggs?
Part about what?
Their eggs.
Eggs. Uh, okay. I told you about their eggs that they don't need water to breed, right? So, such in case of amphibians, we know they lay eggs in water, right? But reptiles they do not need water to breed, so their eggs are very tough, and their shells look like a rubbery sort of material. And if you're talking about their reproduction, is that they in case of reproduction, a male and female reptile has to mate, right? And after mating, the sperm from the male body is released into the female body, right? And after that, their eggs are fertilized inside the female body, right? When the sperm reaches the egg, it fertilizes them over there, and after that they are done with that, then they are going to lay that egg, right? For example, let me draw that out. Here is the egg, right? This is a female body. Suppose this is a female body that has egg, and the male body has the sperm, right? The sperm goes to the female body and fertilize this egg, and after that, a zygote is formed, right? Fertilized egg is called a zygote. Now, this zygote is fertilized inside the female body. That is how the amphibians are, reptiles are different from amphibians, right? What happened in case of amphibians that the female laid eggs, After
It
that,
happens
the male
externally.
body shed its sperm over that. Yes, Mipsam, are you saying something?
I mean, amphibians, it's external,
Yeah, the fertilization is
basically.
external, while in case of
Yes.
reptiles, the fertilization is internal. That is clear to Vanya and Fahad as well. Yes, Fahad, are you clear with it?
Yes.
Okay, what about Vanya?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now there are birds. Now birds are warm-blooded vertebrates and they have a vertebral column. Now the vertebral column of neck is flexible, right? We can see the birds, they move their head like in both directions. But the rest of the vertebrates, it is merged to form a rigid structure. And this is very important for their flight. So this is a sort of adaptation to their flight. They have very powerful wing muscles and they need a rigid frame to work against, right? And the epidermis over most of the body is of covering of feathers, right? The skin is covered with hairs, and the legs and toes, they have epidermis that forms scales. So as you can see here, they birds usually have beaks. These are their forelimbs that are adapted to form wings, and their bodies are covered with feathers, and then they have scales over their foot. Okay, then their feathers are of several kinds. Some are fluffy down feathers. They are excellent for providing insulation, right? They are insulating layers that are close to the skin. Then they have contour feathers. They cover the body and give the bird its shape and coloration. After that, they have large quill feathers as well. Those are mostly on wings, and that is important for flight as well. Now birds also have forelimbs. Now the forelimbs, they are modified to form the wings. Their feet, their feet are their feet contains four toes with claws that helps the birds to perch, scratch for seeds or capture prey according to species, like whatever the species it is. Then the upper and lower jaws, they are extended to form a beak, and that is used for feeding. And their fertilization is internal. The female lays hard-shelled eggs in a nest and incubates them. That is while how it keeps them warm and safe. So is that word section clear to you?
Yes.
Okay. After that, we have mammals. Now, mammals are also warm-blooded vertebrates. Mammals also have four limbs, right? They have hair rather than feathers. Birds are also warm-blooded vertebrates, but they have feathers, right? While mammals are also warm-blooded vertebrates, but they have hair. And apart from that, mammals also have diaphragm that plays a part in breathing. And there is a presence of mammary glands as well that helps their youngs to suckle on milk. And they give birth to fully formed babies or youngs instead of laying eggs. So all mammals, they give birth to fully developed babies, right? And obviously their eggs are fertilized internally, and they go through a period of development inside the uterus of a female body. Then the youngs, they may be okay in some species, they may be blind or helpless in the early stage, such as cats. So when you see they've just born, so they are blind, they're helpless. While in some species, the youngs that are born, they may be able to stand up and move soon after birth, such as sheep and goats. And the youngsters, their first food is milk that is made in the mammary glands and that contains all the nutrients that the offspring needs for the first few months, depending upon the species. And the youngsters, they get older. After they get older, they consume food as their parents consume. And the carnivores, in case of carnivores, their parents bring food to the young until they cannot get for themselves, such as lions, tigers. You must have seen things that are similar to it in Animal Planet and things like that. Their parents, they fetch food for them, right? Okay. So is this mammal section clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so till here we are done with vertebrates. Now we can just compare some features of five classes of the vertebrates. Now, in case of vertebrate class, we know we have fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. Fish examples include we have trout, roe, sharks. Their body coverings are made up of scales. Their movements, for movement, they use their fins, and also for balancing out their bodies. How fishes reproduce is that they produce jelly covered eggs in water. They have some sense organs as well, for example, eyes. They do not have any ears, and there's lateral line along body for detecting the vibrations in water that we have discussed in some class. And there are other details are that they're cold blooded and they use their gills for breathing. After that, if we compare amphibians, so frog, toad, newts, these are included in amphibians category, and their bodies are covered. Their body covering is a moist skin. Also, the amphibians, they have four limbs, and their back feet are often webbed to make swimming more efficient. Their reproduction is that they produce again jelly covered eggs in water. Their sense organs are eyes and ears, and their other details are that they are cold blooded and they have lungs and skin for breathing. Reptiles are lizards, snakes. Their body covering is again they have dry skin with scales. They use four legs apart from snakes. Like snakes don't have legs, but other reptiles they have legs, so they use their four legs for movement. And for reproduction is that they produce eggs with the rubbery waterproof shells that are laid on land. Their sense organs are that they have eyes and ears, and other detail is that again they are cold blooded and they have properly developed lungs for breathing. Then in case of birds, sparrow, pigeon, their body covering is that they have feathers and they have scales on their legs. Then their movement depends upon two wings and two legs. And their reproduction is that they produce egg with a hard shell laid on land. Their sense organs are that they have eyes, ears, and other details include that they have warm blooded lungs for breathing and they have beaks as well. And after that, the mammals, their examples include that mouse, striped hyena. Their body covering is that they are made up of hair. They have hairs as well. Okay. The movement is that they have four limbs, and their reproduction is that they produce live youngs. Sense organs is that they have eyes, ears with the pinna, and external flap as well. Then other details includes that they are warm-blooded, they have lungs for breathing, females have mammary glands to produce milk to feed young, and they have four types of teeth. What are those four types of teeth?
Molars, premolars, incisors, and canines.
Good. Okay, so till here is it clear? That
Yes.
was all about Kingdom. Sorry, yeah, it was all about Kingdom Animalia. We have discussed the vertebrates and the invertebrates as well. Okay, after that,
Was okay. Was
okay,
easy.
the starting chapters are mostly easy.
Ma'am, are we gonna do the transport in the next chapter, like diffusion, osmosis,
Yeah, that is movement into and out of the cell.
movement? Yes, yes.
Yes. Yeah, I think the other chapter after this is that. Okay, so we are just left with few kingdoms. Then we have one more topic that is the five kingdom scheme. So the kingdoms that we have is considered to be the largest group of organisms that is recognized by the biologist. You know that at earlier times there were only two kingdoms, right? Those kingdoms were, you can say earlier times, there were only two kingdoms. One was the planty, and the other one was the animal kingdom, that was Kingdom Animalia, right? So what were the could you anyone of you tell me that what were the difficulties that biologists were facing while they only have two kingdoms?
And they could not identify bacteria and bacteria and uh, eukaryotes.
Yeah,
Sorry, prokaryotes.
fungi, bacteria, and the single celled organisms. So it was difficult for the biologist to classify them, and it was very confusing for them to put either of them into which group. So that was what the difficulty they were facing according to that. Okay, then after that we knew that there were like five kingdom of classification finally formed that consist of the five kingdoms, that is plants, animals, fungus, prokaryotes, and prototists. After that, there do you people know that there's still some difficulties with five kingdom classification system. Those
And
are
maybe with
those
viruses.
Yes, yeah,
Ma'am,
viruses
yeah,
are not
viruses.
included in any kingdom, any of the five kingdoms. And also that there are many prototists, you can say there are many prototists that are that have chlorophyll, right? They have chlorophyll. They show important similarities. They show important similarities to some members of the algae. But these algae, they are classified into which kingdom? Do you know that they are classified into which kingdom? They are present in the kingdom Plantae, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now if we discuss about the viruses, we know that they aren't placed in any kingdom. Okay, we know that they are not considered to be living organisms. And why is that so? Because they lack cell membranes, right? They do not have cytoplasm as well. And also, they do not possess ribosomes as well. And also, they do not exhibit the characteristics. You can say they do not demonstrate the characteristics of living organisms. That are those characteristics are feeding. Apart from that, it's respiration, it's excretion. What else? Growth.
Egestion.
Okay. And if we talk about the reproduction, do they reproduce?
And if they're inside a living organism,
Yeah,
this
that is
they
only
multiply.
done when they are in the cells of living organisms. That is where they reproduce. And they do so by using the materials provided by the host body or host cell. Okay. Then comes the kingdom Plantae.
And ferns and monocots and dicots.